Good evening. Welcome to Injustice Investigations. I'm your host, Al Scott. As always, we thank you all for tuning in to tonight's live broadcast. As always, we thank you for your genuine support for the show and the things that we try to do. I see my good friend Spitting Fires in the house tonight. Love you big time. Spoke with her, I think, yesterday. I got to call you back about something later tomorrow. And Deanna Williams is in the house. Good evening to you. Faye is here tonight. Good evening to you as well. Lady D Jones, welcome. A Powers is in the house. All righty. We have a lot to talk about tonight. I don't have any updates on Tyrese. Okay. Dora Davis, good evening to you. Scorpio, welcome back. Hadn't seen you since Jesus Well. Good to have you back. Kay Cole is in the house tonight. Lisa Fleming is here. Love you big time. Thank you all. Of course, we have a special guest in the house tonight, but she vanished. So hopefully she will pop back up. Miss Jackson, good evening to you. Welcome. She is from Magnolia, Arkansas. Welcome. Love you big time. Kay Cole, Barbara Lowry is here, and Tiffany Williams is here as well. Okay. Let me say this before we get started. If you notice, we came on like 2 or 3 minutes early. Oh, you're good, Scorpio, but if you do it again, you're going to be in timeout. Tomorrow, all day tomorrow, I'm going to be live on YouTube and Facebook. I think the first show starts at 1 p.m., I think. Off and on throughout the day, we're going to be updating you on the Breonna Taylor situation. I am going to speak on it tonight. If I say I'm pissed, that would be an understatement. So I can't talk about it the way I want to talk about it tonight because I invited Barbara Smith Iverson here tonight to speak on the 4 police officers in Shreveport, Louisiana, who was recently indicted for an April homicide. We've shared the video on all our pages today. Right after it happened, we shared it here on YouTube. 4 officers were indicted. We're going to go back to the scene of the crime and let you know how things got started and how did we get to finally getting these 4 officers indicted. If you were here back then and I did the video on it, the first thing you heard me say is that all of them need to be inside of a jail cell. They do not need to be on paid administrative leave. When I watched that video, it was very, very disturbing the way these 4 officers beat this man unto his death. I say it all the time. Barbara Iverson said it earlier today to me. We keep giving a badge and a gun to the wrong person. So I don't care what you are banned, chokehold, knee hold, whatever. It doesn't mean a damn thing if you're still going to give a badge to a diabolical, deranged, racist, super stupid individual. But if you have a high school diploma or a GED, well, come on in. And that's it. So tonight, briefly, before I bring Barbara on to speak, about 12 something, we went live. Because we knew at 1:15 or 1:30, the decision on whether or not to indict the officers who are responsible for Breonna Taylor's death. It's no other way to say it. It's not, well, maybe. It's, well, no, absolutely, positively, unquestionable. They are responsible for her death. We talked about the 2 police officers in California that was ambushed. And the chief said they were sitting there minding their own business in their police car. He was absolutely, positively, unquestionable right. Now, regardless to what city or state, let me say this to the chief. Breonna Taylor was also minding her own business in her own house, in her own bed. In her own bed. Watts, thank you so much for your donation. If you all can tonight, trust me, we need the donations to stay on air. If you would try to get your donations into the Cash App or the PayPal app, that would be a tremendous help for us, please. Thank you so much. Again, I appreciate you, Ms. Watts. Thank you. Now, the chief spoke first. And from the sound of his voice and from the things he said, I knew what was getting ready to happen. I'm sure y'all knew just as well as I did. One thing he said that stuck with me. We're not going to tolerate any violence. Bullshit. You're going to tolerate whatever them black folks put out on y'all ass. You will tolerate it. You cannot continue to beat us, stomp us, shoot us, and then tell us it's okay to respond to it, but respond to it in a peaceful way. That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Today, nobody was held accountable for the death of Breonna Taylor. Nobody. No fucking body. They focused on the other apartments in the area. Damn Breonna Taylor. Now, how can you call yourself a human and you don't indict nobody for killing this woman who was at home minding her own business? So what you're saying, fuck Breonna and fuck her family. We gave them $12 million. You niggas take that, kiss my ass. We're done with this shit. Black folks, you forgive too damn much. That's why we're here today. With this Dr. King shit, a peaceful protest. And you keep inflicting violence on my people. Where the fuck do they do that? Burn that bitch down if y'all want to. Burn the bitch down. That was an insult to the fucking family. And by the way, the family shouldn't have took the goddamn $12 million. I had to throw that out there. They still see us as 3/5 of a human. You niggas ain't shit. I can't go off like I want to tonight because I have a guest, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. But as I always said, if you niggas would get out the way, us black folks can get something done. I don't give a damn about the attorney general saying, well, the FBI is still investigating. Bitch, you should have done your goddamn job. That's what you should have done. But you didn't. You didn't. Respect is never given. Respect is always earned. Black people from day one has never had a good report with the police department nowhere in the United States of America. And then you tell us you can protest peacefully. You can protest starting at 9 a.m. 9:30 p.m. the protest ends. What the fuck? So you give us a time to start and a time to... Anybody out there protesting, I don't give a damn who you are. You fucking super goddamn stupid. You stupid. You stupid. You super stupid. History would tell you protest is not working. It's not. I don't know how many black people have to be victimized by the police department before some of you dumbass niggas realize, oh, we can come here from out the rain. They don't give a fuck about the poster saying no justice, no peace. This woman is dead. Her biggest fear being a paramedic was, I'm going to get the coronavirus, but this is my job. Little did she know that would never touch her. It would be bullets that would take her out. And her boyfriend, the fiance, to the son of a bitch who came on the earlier, do you not know that he shot a cop? Do you not know that's his goddamn house? Do you not know he had the right to shoot that motherfucker? He lucky he got a bullet in the leg and that was it. We had a no-knock warrant, so we ain't have to identify ourselves. No, wait a second. You raised that. We did. We said police. We did. And so you gonna go on that shit. If you come up in minds like that, I'm gonna knock your goddamn ass off too. They just told all black people, fuck y'all. Police officers, guess what? I want y'all to party tonight. Kill them motherfucking niggas, because we don't give a fuck about them. There is no retaliation for you, no consequences. We'll put you on paid administrative leave. When this shit simmer, come on back and kill another nigga. Barbara, my throat hurt. I'm tired. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nichols. Okay, we lost Barbara again. I don't know what's going on. I hope Barbara's not drinking on air. Oh, God, Jesus, all I need. Well, I might as well fuss some more since she's off the air. I got so pissed today. Cynthia will tell you. I got so pissed today that
Yes.
After hearing that, I cut the damn TV off. I cut it off. And it stayed off until Cynthia and I got in the car and we left and went to some stores and we came back. Because it was nothing else I needed to hear. It was nothing else.
Right.
Nothing else. Tomorrow, I think starting at 1, off and on, Facebook, YouTube, all day. Barbara, listen, I thank you so much. Do you need to get a laugh out quick because you got that smirk? I thank you so much for coming on tonight. I do.
Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody can shed some light on the 4 police officers in Shreveport that was recently indicted, I know that you can because you are a voice for the voiceless and you go toe-to-toe with the biggest of them.
That's right.
And I respect that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she even went toe-to-toe with me and I had said, okay, Barbara, don't embarrass me on social media. Let's just do this shit. We lost her again. I don't know what's going on. Okay, somebody just said something. Kimberly Lewis says the Attorney General murdered her all over again. Kimberly Lewis, if you don't say anything else tonight, I promise you, you just preach. I think we're having some technical issues with Barbara Iverson coming on live and staying on live. Let me bring her down, try to bring her back up and see what's going on there. Okay, we will wait on Barbara to pop back up. Joseph Hines, good evening to you. Ms. Rich, good evening to you as well. Hot Pink, I didn't know you was here. Good evening and welcome. I love you big time. So again, today, if you didn't get it with George Floyd, even if you missed it, good evening, Miss Lee. Even if you missed it with Michael Brown, even if you missed it with Travinsky Odom in Shreveport, Louisiana, today you should have caught it. You should have caught it. What they're telling us, we don't give a damn about y'all. We don't. We are untouchable. And when a person knows that they're untouchable because of the powers that they have, because of their occupation, they will do whatever the fuck they want to do to you because they know one goddamn thing. they will not be held accountable. Protocol must take place now to let it look good and let it look good on paper. But they know one damn thing. They getting the whisper in the ear. Fuck them niggas, you good. We gained her family $12 million, and that's all they get. He didn't do no wrong. They focused on the bullets going to the neighbor's house more than they focused on Breonna's death. I'm going to bring you back up, Barbara.
I keep going in and out. I'm sorry.
That happens. It's just life. Okay. So if you want to briefly give a little background about yourself, and then we'll get into the 4 officers that was indicted in Shreveport, Louisiana, So, and then you'll tell us how this all came about and why the police was answering a call to that address. I think it was on April the 5th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
April the 5th. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Well, I got a message in my inbox from one of our local politicians who leaked the case to me.
Okay.
And I began chatting George Floyd, of course, on the national level, and Tommy McLaughlin on the local level. And that's how his name got out in the public. Come to find out that James LeClaire, which was the white one of
In the meantime, but you may not agree, but I know we also have to take some of the blame because we're too easy to be satisfied. We can be bought by the Almighty God. The protest in 2020 that deals with the injustices that Black people are receiving in this country don't mean a damn thing. Doing a protest in this day and time on Black issues is about as helpful as it is giving a whale a tic tac. You just out there walking and talking and hollering, no justice, no peace. The white folks told you today, along with the House and Field niggas, you don't give a damn about justice. But let me tell you next time, you're going to have some justice. You're going to have some justice. Black people, in order to get some peace that we need and deserve, got to raise hell to get that peace. President Obama said it so clearly a few weeks ago. You don't have to accept the life they're trying to get you to live in. They're trying to take us back 400 fucking years. And with black on black crime, you niggas killing each other. Y'all don't make it no damn better. You don't. You don't. I tell you what you do. You make it harder for us to defend you. We have to be the change that we're looking for. We have to be the change that we know we deserve. When they said we the people, Black, we were considered right. We the people didn't have a damn thing to do with us. God may have said that he created all mankind equal. And I'm sure he did. But one thing we know, we're not always treated equal. God said she's not hearing us. What? Can you all hear me now? I think so. Miss B said, raise some hell.
And that's it. That's the only way that we're going to get some act right. You're going to have to raise some hair. Barbara, we're going to get through this here. We're going to get through this here one way or another. I'm taking another sip of my tea, and you go on with your story.
Bring me back to the front. I'm still considered backstage, is what it's saying.
You're here. I see you.
Oh, you see me? Okay. I'm back.
Was saying you got a tip from a politician, I think.
Can't hear you.
You left off saying you got a tip from a politician. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got a tip from one of our local politicians that, Tommy McLaughlin Jr. was brutally murdered by 4 of the Shreveport police officers, James LeClaire, Demarie Johnson, Brian Ross, and Triana McCarter. All 5 of them just recently were indicted for negligent homicide.
Anything that could have went wrong today for a black man in this country landed on my damn doorstep. Let's try to get Ms. Iverson back up again. If we keep losing signal, we just may have to stop and try this again tomorrow before we go live on the other shows. But in Shreveport, we're having some, a little rain issues here and stuff with high winds. That might be a part of it. Ms. Iverson, can you hear me now?
I can hear you and I can see you, but I keep going in and out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But like I said, these officers, I had a conversation with the district attorney's office. Mm-hmm. They had the U.S. Attorney General in town, I think like last week, and they were calling for the citizens to give them information on how to stop the violence in the city and stop all of the murdering. Mm-hmm. But my conversation to him was, when are you all going to clean up the murders in your own house? Which was James and Demario, Brian, and Tiana, who murdered Tommy McLaughlin. And his words to me were that, hey, we're going to bring an indictment. And as you can see, 3 days later, the indictment came down. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the video of how they brutally beat Tommy McLaughlin, simply because Tommy McLaughlin was a mental ill patient. He suffered from schizophrenia as well as depression. Okay. And they beat the hell out of him to try to subdue him for no apparent reason. This is one of the reasons we say defund the police, because as you can see, that they're treating these people like animals, as if they are not human themselves. Mm-hmm. And so they use all kind of excessive force, failure to give Tommy McLaughlin basic medical treatment. They tased him, they maced him, they beat him to death, basically with the billy club. And then they threw him in the back of the police car on his head. And this is how he fatally died in police custody, because he couldn't breathe anymore.
Let's do this. Let's see if we can just speak to our people. Maybe we have to do a phone call here. Barbara.
I'm here. I see you now.
Okay, let's do this. If it happens again, just call and we'll finish it through the phone, and then we'll have to do this again maybe tomorrow or the next day, but I hope it doesn't.
Okay, very good. Okay. But as I was saying, we did not hear about the murder of Tommy McLaughlin for almost 3 months. The Shreveport mayor's administration knew about the murder, and they did not bring it to the public's eye until 3 months later, as if they were concealing his death. It wasn't until I want to say KTAB or Jerry Mays, whatever station Jerry Mays is the newscaster on, until he brought it to the forefront.
Okay.
And it didn't get any kind of spark then, but then one of our politicians leaked it to me, and that's when I took it to the protesters to actually try to get some justice for them.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it a true statement? Does it make any sense when I think District Attorney James Stewart, okay, I'm talking to an invisible person, she's gone. Okay, let me just call her. See if we can finish this here. Hopefully we can. We deeply apologize. It's just out of my control right now. Barbara? Okay, Barbara's not saying anything. Okay, God, it might be a test. I don't know. Okay, this is just not my night. It's just not my day. Okay, again, District Attorney James Stewart alleges that he didn't receive the report until I think it was about 54 days after the incident. Now, some neighbors, people that was there, says that when he was put in the unit, he started to go down and it didn't come back up. The paramedics showed up, was trying to do CPR on the brother. Well, the neighbor said that didn't work. And they are assuming that he died in the unit where the incident took place. Another sign that leads people to that conclusion is that when the paramedics left, they left with no lights on, and they drove off slow. So if he was alive, and we would think the lights would be on, the sirens would be on, and they would be flying to a hospital to try to save his life. What I was asking you, Barbara, is District Attorney James Stewart says that he didn't know anything about the incident, I think, until 54 days later. I mean, can you speak on that? Is it true, or is it true, or you don't know?
Well, to my knowledge, I find it hard to believe. I find it very hard to believe. Now, whether or not he received information, because we turned over a video to him, we turned over some documents that came from citizens who, videoed the incident. Mm-hmm. So I find it very hard to believe that you didn't know that this man was dead when he died. Because I'm telling you, one of the politicians, he knew. Well, I know James Stewart had to know, because James Stewart worked right over there in the prosecutor's office.
Exactly. When we look at, and you were talking about the video, again, for those of you who hadn't seen it, it is a very, very disturbing video as to how they was beating that man, and then they took him behind the car and stuff. But I'm gonna let you elaborate on that, Barbara. How many times he was hit, tased or whatever, and was it necessary?
Oh, definitely not necessary.
Okay.
It seems to me that the mental ill people, police are finding it an opportunity to just murder them because they act in a certain way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I just find it hard to believe that they beat Tommy McLaughlin like that when he was just having a psychotic episode. To beat him in the head, to tase him,
It is, and looking at the video, I remember him getting up one time, and an officer knocking him back down to the ground.
Yeah, I heard that they said he hit his head on the concrete, which that's how he got the big fracture in his head.
Okay, well, if he hit his head on the concrete, and that may be true. Well, we know why he hit his head on the concrete.
Right, a psychotic episode. He was a schizophrenia. He suffered from schizophrenia and depression. And I know, and you know, when you see somebody acting out strangely, that's not an opportunity to go and kill it.
Exactly.
We were talking earlier about Travinsky Odom when he was killed by law enforcement in Shreveport, Louisiana, back in April of 2019. That was a mental patient. A mental patient was also shot and killed across the river over there in Bossier City.
Yes, sir.
Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
So when you and I talked earlier, and I don't know if you remember, I'm bringing this up so you can answer it on live. I think that just like when there's a hostage situation, you cannot just send the police out there to try to defuse the situation, because they're trained in one way, but as far as being a hostage negotiator, officers are not, right?
Right.
So when the hostage negotiator come on the scene, his or her job is try to de-escalate the situation as much as possible without any loss of injury, right?
That's right.
So what do we do? Because when Travinsky Odom was killed, his family called 3 times. They called 911 3 times. Look, yes, he shot a relative in the foot twice with a .25 automatic, but he's on drugs and he is a mental patient. I'm thinking if the 911 operator relayed that to the responding officers, then they said, whoa, wait a minute, let's address this another way.
Well, I'm thinking some of these officers are finding it very convenient and an opportunity to murder. That's just me.
Wow, I agree.
Because it's happening entirely too much. And you're right. I have a friend that's a dispatcher for SPD.
Okay.
And they are conveying the message that these people have mental health issues. But it's like when the officers appear on the scene, it's just like it's like they're hunting animals or something.
I know, and I think one time they kind of like pushed him back or drug him back behind the car so you could not see nothing or see very little.
Right. I was on the scene. You talking about the one on Greenwood Road and Joella, right?
No, I'm talking about Tommie. When they took him behind, when they took him behind the vehicle. And some people were saying they couldn't exactly see a lot that was going on, but when you watch the video, I can see this white officer hitting him over and over again. And I think that's the time when the black female officer was holding him down, I think.
And she punched him 4 times, and then I'm thinking Brian Ross, the other police officer, punched him and knocked him out. So he was punched at least by almost all the officers except for Demario Johnson, who stomped him, who kicked him, they said.
He did. I saw that. He did.
Yeah.
He did. You know what? It's scary because when you have a family member, a loved one, that has some mental issues, and you love them, you don't want anything to happen to them. But when they get to the point where you cannot control them and you don't want them to hurt you themselves, then you call for the police, right?
Right, exactly.
And then the police come and do exactly what you didn't want.
And that's the sad part about it. So the question is, what do we do? When we call to defund the police, everybody seems to get angry and upset as if we're anti-police. What we're clearly saying is that we need some of the money that the city is paying all these police officers to go into mental health. Go into other areas where these patients can be seen in other areas. We have to have other alternatives because it's clear that the police does not have it.
So how easy is it for someone to become a police officer?
It's very easy. If you have a GED or a high school diploma, and I think they say you have to pass a physical training, and then you go into the academy for X amount of weeks, and they put you out on the street. And I believe this is one of the reasons why we continue to have so many problems out of them. Because a lot of them, they just thrown out on the street to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, that's very disturbing. The qualifications to be a police officer is have a GED or a high school diploma and come on in and we'll take care of you. Now, let me ask you this, Barbara. Today, we saw what happened in the Breonna Taylor case.
Yes, sir.
What is it that we as Black people keep missing? Because I'm focused on the protests not working. I mean, but is there something else that we keep missing because it keeps happening?
I think we're missing two things. We're missing two very important or vital ingredients. And the main ingredient that we're missing is when the forefathers of this country said that Black folks are only 2/3 of a human being. White folks were raised, that stuff was ingrained in them to view us and have a perception that we are nothing but animals. So there's a perception problem and an immorality problem. So when Black Lives started, to say that word to white people, it's almost like a bomb goes off in their head because they have been taught for so long that we are only 3/4 of a human being. So when we take up on some kind of level of self-esteem or self-worth by saying that, hey, Black Lives Matter, it messes with them because they have to deal with the lies and the deception that the foreparents have taught them. They're dealing with that. That's why they come back with so much anger and say, well, white lives matter, because it kills their souls to even look at us as a human being.
That's it.
Yeah. And the second thing, Black folks are going to have to deal with some deception themselves. We're going to have to really move ourselves from under a whole lot of stuff our foreparents have taught us. And it's nothing against them, but we all have been taught a whole lot of lies that we're living under a whole lot of falsehood.
That's it.
Yeah. And nobody wants to deal with it because it's deception. They don't want to say my mama lied to me. They don't want to say my pastor lied to me. They don't want to say society lied to me. They don't want to deal with the truth, and I get that. I understand that. But the only way we move to a better mental position is when we start dealing with the truth. We're operating from a false mindset, and that is the root that I would say that Black people have. And until we're really ready to deal with the truth, that's the only way we're gonna move from the condition that we're in.
Exactly. You made me think about something when you was talking about, no one wants to hear that their parents or relatives lied to them and taught them wrong. Well,
Right.
Like it or not, it's the gospel, it's the truth. A prime example is the Holy Bible. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Holy Bible.
Right.
What's wrong is our perception of it as we were taught.
There it is.
And
And that's why a lot of the young people are rejecting it today. They don't want no parts of it. Because we just gonna have to do something better. And then until the perception of this country see us in a different light, they're gonna continue to gun Black people down because you're not valued you alluded to the fact that how black people are killing each other. See, all of that is no more than a byproduct of the lies that this society has told us. We're nothing. You ain't gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And we live that. We live that. We act that out.
Right, and we act it out every day. Now, I graduated from Grambling, and it's one thing Grambling taught us for 4 years. They taught us that we're somebody. That's our slogan, we're somebody. And our professors always taught us to define ourselves. Never let this wicked society that we live in define who we are. You have to hold the definition to who you are. And we're not animals. We're not that. That's what white folks gave us. And we have to know and do better than that.
We have to, because and I'm sure you hear it this as often as I do when you speak with blacks on certain issues like this about hurting one another, the robbing and stealing. Some will tell you, but see, man, that's us. That's our culture. That's a lie. That's not our culture. It's not.
It's not our culture. It is not our culture. We came from kings. We came from queens. You know what I'm saying? We don't supposed to be acting like animals. We don't supposed to be acting like savages. Young women should be carrying themselves differently. Young guys should be carrying themselves differently. We keep living out the definition that somebody gave us. That's falsehood.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
That is it. Listen, let me ask you this. When we say defunded, what do we do with the money if we defund police departments?
Very good. There are programs that are already in place to deal with the mental patients that we have in this society. A lot of that money from the police department, since we clearly see they do not have the capacity to deal with a lot of things that are going on in society. So we have counselors. You know what I'm saying? Money should go there.
Okay.
Money should go to other programs to help these people with trying to find housing, educating them on literacy, on how to buy houses and stuff like that. We need to be investing money in our education system. This is the very reason these Fortune 500 companies are not coming here, because the education is off balance. And people don't want to come here and talk about giving people money and they don't know nothing.
That's it. That's it. And we have always received an F when it comes to education. The black woman, the officer, we saw her beat Tommie as well, right?
We did.
Okay. Then it is said that Tommie spit in her face and then she beat him again or something like that.
Well, yeah, they said that, but let's always go prior to that happening.
Okay.
Was Tommie trying to, protect his life? You know what I'm saying? What was he responding to even spit in someone's face? Had they already punched him and beat him? What happened prior to that? To make him act like that, to make him do that. You see what I'm saying?
I agree. Because you're right. When things like this happen, we always focus more on the after effects.
Right, exactly. But we won't put things in its proper context.
Exactly.
Because if I was in the situation and somebody's beating the hell out of me, if I could spit to get them off of me, if I could kick them to get them off, you see what I'm saying? So people are reacting to something that's making them do that. So people don't want to deal with that part of it.
But that's true, and we really need to address that, because it's anyone's natural instinct, if somebody's beating their ass, to resist and to fight back. So if I got these cops out here beating my ass and I mean, what I'm throwing is not working. I will probably spit in the goddamn face too. But here's the thing. They did not conduct themselves as officers of the law.
Thank you. But then they want you to act like you know, they want you to act perfect, and they beating the hell out of you. But let's go to the coroner.
Come on.
He's a very important piece to all of this. Now, you know, he said after they beat the hell out of Tommy, threw him in the back of the car, he couldn't breathe no more, and he died. The coroner said that he died from excited delirium. That was the cause of death. Not from them beating his ass, but from excited delirium.
Okay. Well, how did he get to that point?
Right. Because he was having that psychotic episode. He was schizophrenic. He was depressed. So he was acting out. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
go ahead.
And so, you know, every time there is a police-involved murder, for some reason, the coroner's report always sides with the murderous police officer, even when they are in the wrong. When you look at the coroner's reports, he do just on average people who die, everything is in line. But look at the reports he do. If you go back and even look at Anthony Childs.
Oh, come on with it. Come on.
Anthony Childs was shot 7 times in his back.
Come on.
The coroner said that he got up from 7 bullet holes in his back, took a gun and shot himself in the head and committed suicide.
And the district attorney sided with the coroner with that bullshit.
With that bullshit, exactly. So my question is, how do you, or what do we do to either get this man charged with malfeasance in office? Because that's all it is.
Exactly.
Wrongful behavior by a public official, malfeasance in office. And how do we get this man to tell the truth? But you know what? He's not going to tell the truth. Because to tell the truth is to get the law, it is for the family to get that money like Breonna Taylor's get. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
The family will sue the city if the coroner would just tell the truth. But he's not going to do that because he don't want the family to get money for the death of their loved one. So that's why he falsifies the documentation all the time.
And you know, I mean, not only is that wrong and illegal, but it's past appalling because certain people, occupation holds them to a higher standard.
That's right.
So I don't expect for the ones who have taken an oath to uphold the law to become the criminals that they should be chasing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't expect for the coroner that said, this brother, after being shot 7 times, got up and said, man, fuck this, I'm going to kill myself. Boom.
Right. It's crazy. And I don't know if you remember when Dr. McLaughlin was the coroner, the original coroner, and they set out a witch hunt on him, and they moved this coroner in because, see, Dr. McFarland was an upstanding man. Dr. McFarland was a husband to his wife for over 20-some years. Dr. McFarland was a pastor over his own church, so he didn't fit the description for what they wanted the coroner to do, which was what? Falsify documentation. So they set up a witch hunt and got him out of there, and this is how you got the coroner that you have in there today with all of these lies and protecting these murderous police officers.
And so there was I'm sure it was several, but I remember one meeting. I'm sure you may have been there. It was with the district attorney, James Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
And then they talked about Mr. Childs committing suicide. And basically, I'm paraphrasing, in a nutshell, the coroner said he committed suicide. And that's what we're going with.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, he's such an important piece of the puzzle. I want to say he's really the most powerful one, because whatever he said, that's what everybody else does. And that's just the way it is. But he's very silent in the background. Most people don't pay attention to him. But I'm bringing it to light. Start paying attention to the coroner, please.
Exactly. Now, before we get out of here, I know that you have I guess I could call it a burning desire when it comes to our police chief, Ben Raymond. I want to know your thoughts on the Shreveport Police Department and your thoughts about Chief Ben Raymond.
Well, you know, I have a whole lot of friends who are police officers within inside the Shreveport Police Department. We got family members there, and we love the police officers. What we don't agree with is the ones who are out here doing people wrong. You know, the ones who are out here murdering people and handling people wrong. That's not what their job description entails. And they must carry themselves in a different way. As you know, the chief of police, Ben Raymond, murdered a black man within 6 months of him being on the police force.
Exactly.
Once again, you look at the coroner's report, he was acquitted. The guy committed suicide. See, it's the same pattern. The guy committed suicide even though he was shot and killed by Ben Raymond. We know that it's political why he's in the position that he's in. And, you know, most people just don't want him there. We're just saying that he's incompetent and he shouldn't be there. The same way the coroner shouldn't be there. He's there. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
It's the same stuff. But I've always said from day one, you know, and then Adrian Perkins clearly said that he was going to do a national search for a new police chief, and that has not happened yet. And we still want to hold him to the fire to get us a new competent police chief that everybody in Shreveport, or the majority of people in Shreveport, can respect and honor as our chief.
You know, I remember someone called me and said that Mayor Perkins said, and they was talking about Chief Ben Raymond, and that the people, you know, didn't want him there, right?
Right.
Well, allegedly, they're saying Mayor Perkins said that he never knew the people didn't want him there. Do you know anything about that?
No, because I think we you know, we're at the council meetings every other Tuesday, and people have voiced their concern that they didn't want him there.
But if the people voiced their concern that they didn't want him there, the mayor should have known that, right?
Right. We're down there every other Tuesday.
Okay.
Every other Tuesday, honey. We're down there, and half of the police department don't want him there either. So, yeah, he clearly knew that.
That was troubling to me because I'm like, maybe I missed something along the way. But, you know, we really do. We have to come together and stop believing everything that the police put in their report. Because for the most part, here's how cops get out of a lot of trouble. Well, even if they, you know, the supervisor know they're guilty, they'll fix it like they're not. So if I just write, if I shot you or if I killed you, I'm going to write, I feared for my life.
Right.
Or either I'm going to go with, I thought I thought. Do you know how many black people have been killed on the words "I thought" and they had no weapon?
Right, I thought, and it goes back to that wicked perception that they hold of black people. See, we got to go back there. That perception, they are animals. You know, their lives don't matter. But just like the coroner falsifies documentation, the police do the same thing. It's called doctoring up the reports. So you're right.
That's it, especially when a rookie comes in. So, no, don't you write that. You got to get with a veteran.
Right.
And so my thing is, if I keep hearing, I feared for my life, well, I'm going to come to the conclusion. I don't know how you see it, Barbara. I want to come to the conclusion as, well, if you that damn scary,
take your motherfucking ass home.
You can get a job at super value, being a security guard, and just every now and then you won't have a whole lot of work to do. There's no reports to write until that guy come in trying to stuff meat down his damn pants. Go and get it.
Well, the same lies they write on their report is the same lies that come out their mouth. I'm fearful. I'm scared.
And you've heard me say it. I don't believe anything a police officer says. You have to prove it to me.
That's right. And yeah, me too.
And if you can't prove it, I'm like, okay, you can tell us these lame excuses as to blase. Even when what's that girl name in Dallas, Texas that killed that guy, the little white short cop. I can't think of her name. But anyway, she got sentenced to just 10 years. Emma Guyton. Yes, that's her.
Emma Guyton.
That's her. So, I mean, the public know that she told not a lie. She told a lot of lies. But they basically tried to go with what she put down as they helped her get the report together, because for some reason, and maybe you can clear this up tonight, the police department.
I'm glad you're going there. I'm glad you're going to the report. Because everything in the court of law is documentation.
That's it.
Everything. And I'm glad you're going there. And you're right. They strategically write out the lie. They strategically write out and cover up the lie. Everything through documentation.
That's it. And it's hard to convict a cop.
It is.
I don't care if that cop is currently in jail or if he or she is free walking into the courtroom, because when you have a jury sitting there, all the jury see, regardless of how this officer is dressed, is this is our knight in shining armor. He protects us. Surely the one that's dead did something wrong.
That's right.
So my thing is, when prosecutors won't prosecute killer, crooked cops, then we must prosecute their ass out of that seat. And I'm not talking about when the election comes. I mean, like today, you got to go.
Exactly.
The change we looking for will not come from them. We gonna have to make that damn change come. And when any police department or a DA does not have a problem with upholding a police officer in absolute wrong, because there is no defense for absolute wrong, I have a problem with you sitting in that goddamn seat, because I'm looking at what you did now. My biggest problem is not so much as this. Let me see all of your goddamn cases, because you can't be trusted.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Now that's it. They cannot be trusted, because not only what they're saying in their behavior, they're saying that they don't give a damn about black lives or humans, period.
That's it. And so we got to, as black people, it's imperative that we not waste another minute, that we as black people become proactive.
Yes, sir.
Barbara, we got to get police officers into a state of mind, well, wait a minute. If I pull that taser or if I pull that gun and it go bad, now I can get, this is me, where I think needs to be with the police officer. If I shoot him, if I hurt him, and I do get arrested, well, laws have changed that says police officers cannot have a bail because we don't expect for you to do what ordinary criminals do because you know the law. I expect for you to uphold it.
That's right.
So you're going to be locked up. There is no bail. You will be on administrative leave. You will be on administrative leave, but you notice I left something out. You want me in a jail.
Right. Ooh,
when I don't fear, because I don't have no consequences to face, whether the other officers like me or not, fuck that nigga, they gonna cover for me.
There it is. You're right.
So if you stop this bullshit, if you get them in check, this would die down some.
Right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Right.
Barbara, listen.
We need to do a phase 2 of this because the next time we need to come with some damn solutions, some serious ass solutions, and people just gonna have to just wake their asses up and start dealing with fucking truth, man.
That's it. That's it. You know what? And you're absolutely right. But most people will believe a lie before they believe the truth.
That's right, because we've been raised on a lie from infancy. This country is a lie.
That's it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. We've been raised on it. That's why they're more inclined to believe a lie, because we're living, this country is a lie, honey.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So, I heard Reverend Al Sharpton say once, he said, it's hard to do the funeral of an insignificant Negro because you've done nothing with your life. And most of us are existing just to be existing. You must realize that I don't care what your resume says. I don't care how impressive that resume look. Somebody died so somebody would read that and give your black ass a job. Don't think your qualifications got you there. So you must understand that they'll go along with you, but they don't like your black ass. And you carry your ass to work on lunch break. You sitting there with the white folks, they got a ball egg, some damn little crackers, and unsweetened tea. And you know you hungry, but you bring the same bullshit because you're trying to fit in where you're not wanted.
Right.
And that's one of our biggest problems as black people. We try to fit in where we're not wanted, and we accept too many lies, and we forgive too quick. Well, the Bible says a lot of damn things. It says thou shalt not kill, right? Your son is dead because somebody killed him.
Right. Just like they gun your damn family member down, and they say, well, I'm going to forgive or be forgiven. What kind of shit is this?
I'll never make it. I know I'm not going to heaven. So I'm just going to enjoy myself down here because I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say the shit that you want me to say. I got to forgive because I want to be. No, you don't have to do nothing. You always have a choice. You hear me? But as long as we keep accepting the bullshit, as long as we keep accepting the police brutality, as long as we keep accepting racial profiling, as long as we keep accepting bullets pumped into our ass, won't a goddamn thing change for black folks? It won't. You can pray until the river meets the sea. Nothing's going to happen.
You're right. Oh, brother,
You got a protest in Moortown a few weeks ago. And I'm not against God. I love God. I believe in God. I know you don't believe it because I cuss a lot. But me and God, we know what we're doing. But now watch this. Before you can finish a prayer, boom, 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 boom.
I saw that.
black people, we got to get ourselves together. We have to.
And it starts, I'm telling you, it starts with releasing the lies that she has been told and coming under a whole different mindset, honey. I'm telling you. Because all this mess that has been put in us, that's why we act the way we act.
That's it. That's it. And it's like some of us acting like, well, we don't know what else to do. Can I answer that question? I know what you can do. You have to start addressing the laws that protect these people.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
You have to do that. And you have to stop accepting everything the police department type up.
Because all of it lies, everything a lie. Yeah, but brother, we're gonna have to do phase 2, and we need to come up with some solutions to the problem, because I think we've been talking forever and a day, but black folks have to come up with some solutions, baby. And the solutions are gonna have to be something to stop this foolishness that's going on within ourselves and with the police killing our loved ones.
Barbara, I totally agree with that. I'm going to give you a call sometime tomorrow, and we'll put something else together. But yes, I'm glad you said that, because I have to bring you back on the show, especially because of all the technical issues that we had this evening. But let me say this before we go, Pete, because we're running out of time. I appreciate your genuine support. But listen, we cannot do this if we're not able to pay bills. By the time we get a check from YouTube, that's just gas money for the damn car. So if we're not receiving any donations, we can't continue to do this. This might sound ugly to you, but bills must be paid. So if you will, if you can, we're asking that you would give your donations to the Cash App or PayPal. It's on the banner right there. And the reason why we're not keen about you giving it to the chat thing, it takes 60 days before we get it. And by that time, we got 2 bags of Roman noodles left. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you believe in us, you believe what we do, we need your support. I don't want to leave YouTube, but if not, on the 30th.
You need to stay on YouTube.
I can't, Barbara. I got to eat. I have to eat. They won't. So if you believe in us, believe what we do, we're asking you for a donation. This is the last time we're going to do this, because I don't like begging, but we don't want to leave. We do not want to leave, but we also want to be able to pay our bills, because it takes a lot. You got electricity, you got to do research, you got to run here, you got to run there. And anybody can tell a story. Anybody can. But what we do, we investigate the story. That's what we do.
Okay. I'm going to definitely get something. Definitely.
You going to write a check out for $1 million, Barbara?
Ooh, Lord, if I had it, honey.
Barbara, listen. I love you big time. And you have been very informative. I thank you for accepting my invite to come on to the show, but I couldn't think of anybody else that would come on and give us the gospel when it came to the 4 officers that had been recently indicted. Incidentally, are they all in jail, or what's going on? Are they in jail?
Well, they only gave them a $20,000 bond, so 9 out of 10 they probably bailed out the same day.
What was the bond again?
$20,000.
And what's the charge?
Negligent homicide and malfeasance in office.
What was the coroner's answer to cause of death?
What he wrote in the coroner's report,
Mm-hmm.
that he died from excited delirium.
So that basically somewhat clears the officers. Am I right or wrong?
Well, if they're convicted, they will serve, I want to say 5 to 10 years in prison. But the magic word is if convicted. It's 10 years. They should serve up to 10 years in prison if convicted.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Barbara, I thank you again for coming on, and I will give you a call time tomorrow. I love you big time, and I appreciate everything that you're doing in the city of Shreveport. And I promise you, if you're willing to come back, we're gonna have you back.
Okay.
All right.
I am willing to come back. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoy your evening.
Okay.
All right, people. I love you big time. I gotta go. We're out of time tomorrow. We're live off and on all day on YouTube, Facebook. We're doing it. We're speaking on the Breonna Taylor thing only tomorrow. I hope you join us. Remember, I'm not always right and you are not always wrong. Get along with it tomorrow. You and I. Y'all have a good night.